What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live video here on the Cup Chasers. We're going to break down the Champions League final day tomorrow. We're looking at the matchups. We're looking at the permutations. We're looking at the maybes, the mights, the who's in, the who's out, the who might make it, the who has a chance, the who's not even close. And we're going to go through it all and make sure we take a look at each team's chances, each team's perhaps abilities, how they're going to do it, how they might do it. But first, let's smash up the like button. Of course, thanks for being here. Go ahead and hype it up if you got any of those as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm certainly grateful if you are here. And let me know what you're thinking in the comments section down below. Who's your team? Are they going to go through? Do they have a chance? What are they facing? All right. First matchup that is up. We're going to take this the way that the games are listed. So I'm going to go game by game, and I'm going to look at what each team needs, what each team has to have or can't have, and whether or not they are going to make it, in my opinion. So without further ado, first game is Ajax versus Olympiacos. And Ajax have been terrible. Let's just be, we'll be right with you. Ajax have been absolutely terrible. And Olympiacos have not been a whole lot better. Ajax languishing down in 32nd. They are indeed the last team, the very last team that's still alive. So they're going to need to win by a whole lot and get the most help that anyone's ever seen ever to qualify, right? And if Olympiacos lose, they're in the, like, if Ajax do win, they're in the same boat. They need a ridiculous, crazy amount of help to qualify, as they are the last team currently in the bottom. The last team still currently in the qualification places. And I personally don't think that 8 points and a -5 goal difference is going to be enough to get Olympiacos in. So if it's a draw, which Ajax is absolutely out, and it's going to mean that Olympiacos is almost certainly out as well. There are a number of teams behind them all the way down to USG who have a chance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other teams would have to not do so great for Olympiacos to be able to get in. So they're going to need a ton of help if they do, if it is a draw. But if Olympiacos do win, which I expect them to, just because they're going to be fighting for it, Ajax, they're just bad. They've been bad this season. I doubt very seriously they're going to find the verve, passion, and energy summoned in this one. I think Olympiacos will win it, and that should see them over the line into the playoffs. They don't have a great goal difference, so it's possible that 11 points and maybe a 1-0, so that'll be a -4 goal difference, would see them down. But a win should see them qualify in 22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere like that. Arsenal Kairat. My notes say, please play the subs, dead rubber. It absolutely means 0. Arsenal have already qualified for the top 2, and Kairat is dead last, or almost, yeah, they're dead last. So I just hope to see the kids. My only need from that is health for the Arsenal. None of the rest of it matters, because we've already got top 2, meaning we will have the second legs at home in the playoffs all the way to the final. Moving on, Monaco is hosting Juventus. Now, this one does have a lot on the line. Both teams have already had a decent campaign in the Champions League so far. Maybe not as amazing as they both would like. I don't know. Monaco's struggling for sure. Monaco's struggling a little bit, actually, now that I see it here. If Monaco win, it's probably going to leave both teams in the playoffs. as Juventus are already on 12 points. That should see them in no problem. Monaco would then, of course, as well be on 12 points, and that should see them into the playoffs. The draw is going to secure the playoffs for Juventus. Monaco might just scrape in with a draw on 10 points. I'm not sure that 10 points and a -6 goal difference, because you've got a lot of teams below you. So if there's a draw, it's getting squeaky bum time for Monaco, that's for sure, because they'll need a lot of help. We just spoke on how Olympiacos is probably going to win. Athletic Club has a chance to win. Napoli has a chance to win. Of course, the Bodos, the likes of Bodos and Benficas and Paphos, even USG, if they win, can still overtake Monaco. Or no, they can't. Sorry. Club Brugge, Copenhagen, and Napoli with draws. Wins could overtake them. So they'll most likely scrape in with a draw. But if they don't, if Juventus win, Juve would still need a few things to go their way. Actually, they would need a ton of stuff to go their way to auto qualify for the round of 16. But they'll be comfortably into the playoffs should they win in one of the better spots and so they'll probably be playing, they might be 9, 10, 11, 12, so which means they'll probably be playing 22, 23, 21, 22, 23, or 24 as per the draw. If Monaco lose this, they're in trouble. Big time trouble. Big time trouble. Hello, Charles. What would we say to fans who are not up to the needed passion and energy for Cairo game? Think boss from the stadium, folk. Booze from the stadium, folks, is damning. There shouldn't be any booze. It should just be a fun Champions League night, Charles. We should be able to get behind the team, get behind the subs, the kids, and have them, have a nice fun evening out, get some Champions League experience. I hope that we don't see anyone. I don't want to see anybody. Any of the starters, any of the Premier League players, play the weakest team you can. It's a literally means nothing game. And so I don't think there's any reason for any booze. Oh, you're talking about the booze from the last game. Yeah, I get why I get it. I had to delete my watch along. It was bad. I was angry. I was very upset. And so I get it. I get that. But I did a video on Bridging the Gap about Arteta just having to take it all on. He's just got to take all of that on. And I think that there should be zero pressure for the Kairat game. So we should play well. We normally do when there's no pressure. Just look at the Inter game. So I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. I just think Arteta needs to take on all that pressure, take it all on, and we keep moving forward. You should go listen, Charles. Go listen to his pre-match for the game. It was all about that kind of stuff, the unity and the slowing down and the everyone is ready to go again kind of stuff. It was interesting. Typical Arteta stuff, but it was definitely very, very interesting. Now, as far as Monaco and Juventus, if Monaco lose, it's bad news bears because their goal difference is awful. So if they lose, it's very likely they go out. Very likely they go out with a loss. And Juventus would need a ton of goals to get into the top 8. So Juventus most likely is going to be in the playoffs. Monaco need to win. Have to win, I would say. The next one up is actually pretty spicy. It's Athletic Club Bilbao versus Sporting Club de Lisbon. And for Lisbon, with a +5 goal difference, they would most likely they'd be in there to qualify for round of 16. You're going to need a good goal difference and 16 points, in my opinion, to get into the top 8. And so I think 2-3 goal win, and they should be fine. Sporting up onto +8, maybe even a 2-goal win should be fine to get that top 8. But it's looking most likely if any other result, and Sporting will be in the playoffs. Bilbao must win. Gotta win. They are currently 23rd. Lots of teams down there with opportunities to leapfrog them should they drop points in this one. I'm not even sure a draw is going to be good enough. My notes say probably out Yeah, draw's not going to do them any favors. They'll still be on -4 goal difference, and Napoli's behind them. Olympiacos will leapfrog them. Copenhagen played Barca. But all of this teams on 6 points, and Club Brugge's on 7 could leapfrog them with a draw because their goal difference is not great. So Bilbao definitely have to win. Sporting, not so much, but I'm not sure how much they'll go for it. I'm not sure how much they'll go for it. What kind of game they got at the weekend. I think they're dominating in the Portuguese league. So they'll probably send out a good team, try to qualify for the round of 16. Bilbao absolutely have to have it. It is at home. So they'll definitely be up for it. Next one up, Atletico Madrid hosting the champions of the Man City game, Bodo Glimt. Santa Claus and the gang down in Madrid. Bodo languishing 6 points. They need to win by lots and lots of goals and lots of help. If they do manage to beat Atletico Madrid, who is one of the teams on 13, that will definitely doom them to a playoff spot. Likewise, with a draw, it would be a playoff spot for Atletico Madrid. And Bodo would still need a ton of help if they win, but they're not great away from home, Bodo Glimt. They've been decent at home. It's really tough to win at the North Pole, of course. And so they're not great away from home. And Atletico, what did my notes say? Yeah, unless they win by 6, 7, 8, 9 goals, bunch of goals, they'll probably still need some help to get into the top 8. It's looking like Atletico will probably be one of the best teams to get into the playoffs. So in that 9 or 10 spot, maybe even 11th. I think they might be 9 or 10 if they win, by 1 or 2 goals and the goal difference isn't boosted a bunch. I think that would probably put them playing against one of the 23rd or 24th teams, which should probably suit Diego Simeone's men. Moving on, next one is Barcelona versus Copenhagen. Yeah, we'll do that one. I'm definitely expecting Barcelona to win this one. If they do, yeah, they're most likely going to auto qualify. They're one of the better teams on 13 points. They maybe if they win by a lot of goals, they're gonna have to boost that goal difference, that goals scored ratio to make sure they get in. But Barca with a win would be one of the last teams in the top 8, or either 9th or 10th, 11th, somewhere in there, just like Atletico Madrid. Anything else in Barca in the playoffs? Copenhagen could theoretically win in the playoff, get into the playoffs, but they are on 7 points and they would need a lot to go their way, and they would need to score a lot of goals here. They're on -6 goal difference. The win would put them on 11. So there'd be a chance. There would be a chance, actually. There would be a chance. They're on 8 points. So, but it would have to be, it's at the Camp Nou. Barcelona have a chance to win, to go top 8. I don't see Copenhagen. I don't see Copenhagen getting anything out of it, so they're likely out of the tournament. The next game is probably the second most useless game of the match day, because no matter what happens, it's Leverkusen versus Villarreal, right? Villarreal are already out. Bayern Leverkusen are they're on 9 points, right? The reason this one is because I don't see Leverkusen not winning. They're at home. If they win, they're definitely in the playoffs. They don't have a chance to go top 8, but if they win, they're definitely in the playoffs. If they draw and are only on 10 points, it does open the door for the teams behind them, yes. But it would have to really, really go against them for them to go out. So with that in mind, I expect them to come for it. And Villarreal have been they've been terrible. They're second last. They've conceded 15 times. They're second last in the group phase. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. So, but the fact that Leverkusen needs to win, I think they'll, just for comfort, for security, I think that they'll smash them. I think they'll absolutely, do the business there at home versus Villarreal. Next one's interesting as well. Benfica are hosting Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho welcoming back the Madridistas. Benfica is not in a good place, though. Not in a good place. They'll need to win with lots of goals and to just to have a chance, because that would put them on 9, and they still need a ton of help. They would still need an absolute mountain of help. They would need Bodo to lose, Brugge to lose, Copenhagen to lose, Napoli to lose, Olympiacos to lose, Club Brugge to lose. PSV is playing Bayern, so PSV ain't losing. They would need Monaco to lose. They would need so much help. And Madrid with a loss would probably drop into the playoffs, but that's like the unthinkable, yeah. So if Madrid win, it's automatically top 8, and even if it's a draw by some crazy chance, Madrid will still, they got a great goal difference. 19 goals for is 4th in the league phase here. So yeah, even a draw is probably auto top 8 for Real Madrid. Benfica have been poor in the league, in the Champions League. Let's be honest. That game versus Chelsea, man, that was dross. I haven't watched too many of their games other than that because it was horrendous. So I don't expect much from that game. And yeah, like I say, Madrid win is an automatic top 8. They'll probably have their eye on that. So I definitely think that that's a Real Madrid W there. The next one, when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, Borussia Dortmund versus Inter Milan. That should be a good game. But it's legitimately, no matter the outcome here, I'm expecting both to be in the playoffs. Legitimately, no matter what happens this game, because Inter are on 12 points, Dortmund are on 11. So if Inter Milan win by lots of goals, Dortmund could be in danger, but they would need a ridiculous amount of stuff to go against them. They would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams to win. 10 teams to win, including PSV to beat Bayern Munich. So pretty much no matter what happens between Dortmund and Inter Milan, they're going to be both in the playoff spots about mid of the pack. And so I would say if you're looking for bets on these games, of course, gamble responsibly, everyone. But if you're looking for tips on these kinds of games, this Dortmund-Inter game is a both teams to score. Absolutely will be kind of a back and forth. I think both teams will play with freedom and go for it. And so especially in Germany, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. That actually would be a really good game to do the watch along for, actually. That'll be a fun one. So we'll have our eye on that one tomorrow, of course. But yeah, most likely both teams are going to be in the playoffs regardless of the result. The next one is also pretty interesting. Club Brugge hosting Marseille. And this one could be another good one for the watch along. It's definitely another both teams to score. You might want to bet the over as well on this one. Both teams need lots of goals. And both teams pretty much got to win. Bruges absolutely, unequivocally has to win. They're only on 7 points. And should they do, and their goal difference is bad. So should they do that, they'd still need some help. It would put them on 10 points. They would need a lot of help still to qualify. I'm not certain that 10 points is going to be enough, to be honest with you. Marseille, on the other hand, yes, my note says if it's a draw here, Brugge are definitely out, but Marseille would be in dire straits. Dire straits. So they're going to come for it. Bruges are going to come for it. They're going to have to throw everything they can at that game just to have a chance. They're going to need lots and lots of goals. And if that does come to pass, Club Brugge would plunge Marseille into some deep water, some trouble, big old trouble. I'm not sure. Not 10 points might be enough. 9 points. I'm not sure is going to be enough. And I did the watch along for Liverpool Marseille last week. It was not great. It did not look good for Marseille. But they do have Ethan. They have just gotten Ethan Nwaneri, scored on his debut. Shout out Ethan Nwaneri. So if he is registered for Champions League and able to play, I'm not sure if that is the case. He might be a boon there for Marseille. They need it. They absolutely need it. Both teams need it. That's going to be fun. That one's definitely going to be fun. Next up, Eintracht Frankfurt versus the Tottenham Hotspur. Frankfurt were so weird because earlier in the league phase, they were scoring lots of goals. First couple of games, scoring goals. The Liverpool game scored some goals. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's a fun team. But they've been horrendous. Terrible. And now are out. But wouldn't it just be Spursy? Wouldn't it just be Spursy? Because if Frankfurt wins, it opens the door for 10 different teams to overtake Tottenham, and that would plunge them into the playoffs. And they would not get into the top 8. If it's a draw, it means 8 teams could then plunge Spurs into the playoffs. I'm not certain that I'm not certain 15 points is going to be enough to get you into the top 8. So Spurs need to win to get the top 8. And it's been like the only good thing that Frank Choo Blood has been able to do. So, yeah. But wouldn't it just be Spursy? Wouldn't it just be Spursy for them to get dunked into the playoffs by losing to a team that's already out? But who knows? Frankfurt will play with some freedom, you'd expect. You might think they'll have some freedom since it means nothing. Next one up is actually pretty interesting as well. Liverpool hosting the Karabag. Of course, if Liverpool wins, they'll be top 4, which means they'll get the second leg of the playoff rounds at home through the quarterfinals. And that would mean Q-Bag would be doomed to the playoffs. There is an outside craziness, mega huge parlay chance that Q-Bag could go out if they lose. But they would need every single team below them all the way down to 26th place. So from 19 to 26 would have to win for Karabag to go down, to be out if they lost. And one of those games is Bayern versus Bayern would have to lose to PSV. Don't see it. Don't see that happening. Barcelona would have to lose to Copenhagen at home. So I think Q-Bag are going to be just fine. A draw would probably still be good enough for Liverpool. They would only need 4 results to go their way, and a couple of those teams play each other. And so it would be the same if a draw for Karabag, but then it would bring the goal difference into the goals. It would just need to be goals galore. And so most likely Karabag are going to be in the playoffs. And my note actually says if Karabag win by 8 goals and still get a couple of other results, they could get into the top 8, but it would have to be crazy. But 3 of the teams behind Liverpool could overtake them if they lose, and that would put them in the playoffs. And so essentially just a draw. A draw is probably going to be good enough for Liverpool. That'll put them on 16 points, which I'm thinking, a 6 goal difference isn't awesome. So there would be an outside chance of Liverpool dropping into the playoff with only a draw because of their goal difference. How many goals? Isn't it goals scored? It might be goals scored. I think they'll be fine. Even with the draw, Liverpool probably going to get into the top 8, which is very important. But as Virgil van Dijk said in the presser, they're going to go for it because they want to make sure they qualify for that top 8. Karabag, most likely, regardless of result, will be in the playoffs. Cool. Next up, Manchester City hosting the Galatasaray. It would take a lot. It's going to take a lot for Manchester City to get top 8. I'm very happy to say that as it relates to the Premier League title race, but they're going to need a whole bunch to happen for them to make the top 8. Of course, they're going to have to win by lots, a whole lot. Their goal difference is only on 4. They're going to need to increase that phenomenally. Yeah. So if they win by a bunch, which I don't see happening, Galatasaray will give them a game and would definitely be able to get in behind him. I don't know. Mark Gahey did kind of shore up the defense a little, but we'll see. Anything else is City or in a playoff. But yeah, to win, they'll need a lot. I'm not sure what there's going to be like a goal difference cutoff for the teams that get to 16 points as to who's going to get into the league. But I think it's actually goals 4. Excuse me. Man City are on 13. I don't know. Need a big win. Man City need a big win and some help. A draw, Galatasaray would probably sneak into the top 4. But the reason I don't think that it's going to be we'll sneak into the top 24. The reason I don't think that Man City are going to blow them away is because Galatasaray could be in danger with a loss. It would, yeah. There's a number of teams that could overtake Galatasaray because their goal difference is on 0. I think they'll be all right even with a loss. I think 10 points might be okay, maybe. A draw and Galatasaray would sneak in. A loss is not great. Not great at all. But, yeah, I think this will be a tight game, and so I think both teams will probably maybe Galatasaray could be in trouble. They could be in trouble. We'll see. I expect Leverkusen to win. Nah, there's surely not. Surely not. Copenhagen won't win. I doubt that. I don't know. Napoli play Chelsea. That could be tough. I expect Olympiacos to win. Bilbao will be tough. Monaco, yeah, I think they'll be all right. I think Galatasaray might be 23, 24, somewhere in there, even if they do lose. But yeah, the next one up. Segues are weird. Napoli hosting Chelsea. Must win. Unequivocal must win for Conte's men. Nothing else is good enough. I don't think neg 9 points is going to be good enough to get into the playoffs here. They have to beat Chelsea. Have to. 100%. I doubt very seriously that Copenhagen and PSV are going to win their games. And so I'm thinking that, I don't know, like I said, 9 points and a neg 5 goal difference is not going to be, I'm not sure that's going to be enough to get into the playoffs. So Napoli must win. Absolute must win versus the Chelsea Blues. And if they do that, Chelsea are are going to be in the playoffs. Chelsea would be playoffs. Yeah. For sure, 13 points is going to be good enough for playoffs. But that would obviously mean the couple extra games. The draw means Chelsea would need 6 teams to lose and 2 others to not make up on the goal difference. But Barca ain't losing to Copenhagen, and Napoli would still need some serious help if the draw comes to pass. But some of the games below them, because some of the games are favorable, and they would need them all to go their way. So, yeah, like I say, the draw is probably not good enough for Napoli. And, of course, a Chelsea win. What's their goal difference? They've got 14. A Chelsea win will probably see them top 8. Probably. And, of course, Napoli would be out. Napoli. Conte's men would be out. There's a conversation that needs to be had, I feel like, about how Conte, not great in Champions League. Certainly with this Napoli side, they've not been good enough. And that's doomed him to this spot here where they absolutely, unequivocally have to win. Have to beat Chelsea at home. But Chelsea would be up for it, of course, hoping to get the top 8. The next one is dire. Paphos versus Slavia Prague. Yes, Prague is out. Paphos have to win by like 7-8 goals and need a ton of help. A ton of help. They would have to win by a massive margin, and I don't think they've scored enough in the competition in general to win by a massive margin. Let's see how many goals they have scored. Paphos, where are you at? 30th place. They've scored 4 times. They have not scored enough goals in the entire tournament to overturn the goals they would need, even if they won. That one's probably going to be irrelevant. Next one up, most certainly is not irrelevant. Paris Saint-Germain hosting Newcastle. Paris, not at their sterling best in this league phase, but have won 4 times. And so they are, they got a good, well, they've scored a ton of goals too. So you know what? Paris should be fine. If they win, it's an automatic qualification for sure. Newcastle would be in the playoffs for sure in such an eventuality. A draw is probably not good enough for both of them. A draw, I don't think 14 points is going to get you top 8 this season. So that means both teams are going to go for it. All the bettors out there, this is both teams to score. This will be back and forth, a fun one for sure. Newcastle will have to go for it if they're going to, put up anything in the game. So it should be a fun one. A draw is not good enough for either. Paris probably favorite, but Newcastle do have something to offer going the other way. Certainly do on the counter. So we'll see. Should be a fun game. I think the fact that they both can't have a draw to get top 8 will give us a very fun Champions League game. And Paris have been doing that for us, of course. And if Newcastle win, yeah, it's probably going to be good enough for a top 8 finish, and Paris will be doomed to the playoffs. So it's, one or the other there. You're probably thinking one of those might be top 8, given there's a winner. If not, if it's an awesome 3-3 for the neutral, then they'll both be in the playoffs, which would be fun. PSV Eindhoven must win or they're doomed. I spelled there wrong in my notes. Awesome. But they absolutely, unequivocally have to win. A loss, I guarantee, dooms them. 8 points and 1. Oh, yeah, we said 9 points and neg 5 is probably not good enough for top 24. So that is bad news bears for the Dutchman. Because, okay, if the unthinkable happens, it would doom Bayern Munich out of the top 2. The unthinkable is not going to happen, folks. Not going to happen. Bayern are going to smash them because PSV are going to try to play, and there's going to be so much space. Maybe so much space. So that one's pretty much, a dead rubber. It's probably the over you might want to bet. PSV are doomed. There's no way. And even if they do win, they would still need a ton of help to qualify. They would need to win by lots of goals. And that's not true. If they do win and go to 11 points, they might be fine. I don't see it happening. Don't see that happening at all. There's no way. And the final fixture is Union Saint-Gilloise versus Atalanta. USG need goals, and more goals to overturn their horrendous goal difference. Yeah, they're another team that would be on 9 points with a win and a horrible goal difference. They're not going to do it. Atalanta, on the other hand, they're the last team with 13 points. Not a great goal difference. If they win by a lot, they might get in top 8. They would have to win by a whole bunch to get top 8. Anything else is most likely the playoffs for Atalanta in this one. All right. So that is the fixtures. That is what each team needs, what could go on. And now I'm going to take a look at the what the draw could be, right? So depending on where you finish, if you are 9 or 10, if you finish in 9th or 10th place, you will be playing versus the 23rd or 24th teams. And looking at it, It's going to be the likes of Olympiacos, Athletic Club, Monaco, Q-Bag, Galatasaray. The 10, 11 points is going to be where you're going to get. So 23rd, 24th is going to be, it could be, Napoli probably are probably going to be from 21 to 24, Napoli, if they win. If they beat Chelsea, they're probably going to be 21 to 24, yeah? So that means they're playing 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. Certainly. Certainly means that they're going to be playing 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. So with that being said, it means that they're most likely going to be playing one of the 13. They're going to be playing a team that gets 13 to 15 points. 13 to, and actually, depending on where they do finish, if Napoli just scrape in or 24th, they could be playing 9 or 10. So they could be playing one of the worst 16-point teams, which would be not great, which would be bad news bears for them, for sure. So I think that it's gonna be very interesting to see who finishes in those bottom spots. But Napoli would be a team that'd be tough. That would give you a really tough draw, especially if, say, Atalanta or because that's the kind of the teams I'm thinking. Atalanta, Inter, Juventus. These teams type teams are probably going to be the 9, 10, 11, 12. So, oh, wow. It's all Italian teams. Can you play? I don't think you can play a team from your same nation in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think so. Let me look at the rules here. UEFA's website is interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Chamberlain over those draws. Yeah, so it talks about the top half versus the bottom half. Here, clubs in just knockout phase against clubs in Eastern Premier. Yeah. Yeah. So it's looking like teams, it doesn't actually say. Sides can face another team from the same national association in the knockout phase playoffs. Clubs could. Okay. That doesn't say just. It says knockout phase playoffs. It doesn't say round of 16. So we could have, like a Juve Napoli, or it could be a Juve Napoli, it could be a Juve Inter, or even a Juve Atalanta, Napoli Atalanta, Napoli Juventus. Napoli might get one of those 3 teams depending on the results. How crazy would it be if they beat Chelsea? If Napoli beats Chelsea in the last day and it dooms Chelsea to the playoffs, where they would probably be in the 9, 10, 11, 12 spot, and Napoli have to play them again immediately. That'd be crazy if Napoli had to then play Chelsea after they just beat them on the final day, because it does say you can play teams that you've played in the league phase. That'd be wild. That would be pretty crazy, for sure. But it's going to be really interesting to see that top 8 battle because of so many teams on 13 points. It's really looking like, some of these Italian teams on 13, Inter on 12, Juventus on 12. Dortmund will probably comfortably mid-pack. Even if they win, they have to beat Inter. If they do, they would actually probably be like a 13 or a 14-ish, I would expect. In which case, they're going to be up against, interesting, the 19 and 20 spot, which, who knows? That could be actually favorable. Actually, could be favorable with the likes of like Galatasaray, Karabakh, Marseille, in those areas. Bayern Leverkusen would be in those areas. So it actually might be favorable for Dortmund, given they win, and they might be able to have a favorable draw into to the round of 16. Now, it's going to be very interesting because there's a lot of changes that are going to happen. Lots and lots of stuff could happen. And I think, though, however, it's going to be a little different than it was last season. Last season, Paris finished 24th. Real Madrid finished 23rd. So it was like you're facing giants. It's not necessarily going to be like that in this one if you finish 9th, 10th, 11th, to where you might be playing. Yes, Napoli is in that conversation. Leverkusen could probably be a tough one. Even Bilbao, if they beat Sporting, maybe. Marseille is in there as well, as far as in those positions near the bottom where you're going to be playing. If you finish as one of the teams that isn't, if you're like 9th or 10th. So it's not going to be as bad as it was last season where, oh crap, we have to play Paris. Aston Villa played Paris, or was it Liverpool that played Paris in the round of 32? So I think it's going to be a little bit less of a huge marquee matchups, I should say. But once we get past the round of 32, it's definitely going to be some collisions. Definitely going to be some collisions. I expect the 9th and 10th place team will probably be able to get through unless Napoli get through. And then Napoli are going to be a tough proposition, I would say. Even though they haven't been great in the Champions League this season, they're going to be a tough proposition. But it's very interesting that the top two will play like the middle of the pack teams. The middle of the pack winners, which there could be some spicy ones. Could be some spicy ones like a Bayern Juventus, like an Arsenal Inter in the round of 16. There could be some spicy ones as far as the middle of the pack finishers have to then play, because 17-18 plays 15 or 16. And then it's one of those four teams that are going to have to play one of the top two teams. And so there could be something spicy right out the rip for Arsenal and Bayern. Perhaps an Italian team, maybe even Dortmund. Oh, Arsenal have to play Dortmund right out the rip. That's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. So, there could be some spicy ones right out in the round of 16. But, hey, that's why we love the Champions League, right? Absolutely why we love the Champions League. It's going to be a very, very spicy day tomorrow. I will be here live and direct. Of course, we'll be doing a watch along. I'll have my eye on the Arsenal game just because it's an Arsenal game. I'll have it popped up over here to the side. But definitely going to have my eye on a couple of spicy matches. Monaco Juventus, Bilbao Sporting's a pretty important one. Dortmund Inter will be a fun game, not necessarily as far as importance. I expect both Dortmund and Inter to finish in playoff spots. Bruges and Marseille, not necessarily of importance, as much importance, but it is one that does have import at the bottom. It'll be fun because there'll be lots of goals. Marseille desperate, Bruges even more so. Spurs are Spursy. Probably no one's going to watch that game. Hopefully they'll lose there and it'll be funny. We can laugh at them. Liverpool Karabag is an interesting one as well. City Galatasaray is an interesting. I think the most interesting games, though, are Napoli Chelsea and Paris versus Newcastle. Napoli absolutely desperate. Chelsea will want to finish top 8. So those are definitely the games to look for. I'll have I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do like a multi-view and just keep an eye on everything. Do like a goal rush type thing as far as my watch along. But yeah, we'll definitely have it figured out for tomorrow. So you don't want to miss any of this. Pick your game, pick 2 games, pick 3 games, whatever, multiple screens, whatever you can do. You don't want to miss any of this. It's going to be an absolutely awesome Champions League day tomorrow. And this has been an absolutely awesome preview, in my humble opinion. And I'm very grateful that you're still here. If you are, smash up those likes. It does help the channel a whole lot. Hype it up if you got any of those left. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I certainly appreciate you being here, and you will see me next time.